Summer 2020 marked the hottest summer on record for Arizona. Right smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were dealing with the loss of life due to the coronavirus, and we were also dealing with extreme heat that was killing so many vulnerable people in our communities. In Arizona, we were down from over almost 100 cooling centers down to less than a dozen here in Maricopa County. And in late 2020 is when Arizona Faith Network got the call from the Heat Relief Network to see if we could, in some way, form, or fashion, participate in serving as a cooling center. Arizona Faith Network, through a cooperation of a coalition of different nonprofits, different partnerships, including with the Heat Relief Network, was able to work with upwards of 10 different faith communities providing heat relief and heat respite throughout the heat season.
Part of what it means to be a church in the downtown is that you will have people on your doorstep in need, and we are then really called, I think, as a church and as Christians to respond to what those needs are. I don't know if you've ever stepped out in the Phoenix heat in 115 degrees, 117. You can't sit anywhere. So as a church, we have this beautiful big hall. We have the opportunity to air condition it, and we can invite people to come inside of our doors, inside the building, and be the church.
When I've sat down to invite faith communities into this work, sometimes there's a hesitation because the need is so great. We are experiencing an affordable housing crisis like we have never seen in Arizona. We have so many people that are experiencing homelessness due to the eviction crisis and the rising cost of living. But I always like to reassure these faith communities that one, they're not alone, and two, we are not trying to solve everything in one day or even through this program. We are just trying to provide help, a hand, some grace, and some dignity in connection to resources.
Majority of the people are unsheltered, and they've had to go to the hospital. They've been dehydrated. Some people come in that have medical conditions compounded on top of the heat, so we've assisted in that. As a team, we've helped people get housing. We've helped people who have been in domestic abuses. We've helped one gentleman was saved. His life was saved because he had diabetes, and with diabetes, you have to check your extremities every day, especially your feet. But he was caught just in enough time to actually save his life, even though he lost part of his extremity. Our assistant that found him was feeling bad because he lost that extremity, and I had to explain to him, you actually saved his life.
I have a vivid memory of someone, in a tent, and he had overdosed plus heat stroke, and that was terrifying. And that's not an uncommon sight out here on the streets. So that was a really big reason for me. It was like, we gotta come together as a community and do something. We really gotta mobilize. And here in Arizona, the need is so incredibly vast. It's hard. It was hard for me this summer with the cooling van because there's so many locations simultaneously that all, had camps of people who maybe couldn't make it to a cooling center at this time. And it was hard for me to be able to hit all these spots. And I think that, one thing that would be really wonderful next summer is trying to replicate that model, have 10 cooling vans, 20, 30, just different groups, all going out there and hitting different spots. And I think that's really the key to, being there for our community in the best possible way.
We as a faith community are called to respond, to help, and to serve our neighbors that are in need. We have space where we can open our doors, where we can invite our neighbors. We have those trusted relationships that are already established in neighborhoods. And two, we have a moral and we have a spiritual mandate to love those that are in need. I think one thing that's been beautiful about this program is watching the different people throughout Arizona come together to help serve our vulnerable communities.
It's just rewarding me. I just like helping people. I just can't stop saying I like helping people. Just to go home and just feel good. You did something for somebody else. Oh, that's awesome.
I think the most rewarding part is just helping those people who come that seem to need so much. They're not very clean and they're very tired and they're hungry, and these are the things that I'm helping them with, and I just get a joy out of helping them.
Our summers are getting hotter, our heat season is getting longer, and our neighbors are increasingly suffering from many, many socioeconomic issues. If you are interested in getting engaged in the Cooling Center Response Program work, you're invited. Just talk to our staff, sign up on ArizonaFaithNetwork.org. There's always a place for you. Just like we tell any of our Cooling Center guests, you belong here and you are loved. And so we hope you will come, engage, help, and serve so we can continue to make Arizona stronger together.